This is an Axeman movie. And Axeman and I want to talk about a very interesting question which I heard in prison. I repeated it on Facebook and got some very good discussion. And I promised I would make an Axeman movie about it. So here's what we're doing. The question that came up in prison was, can you love someone but not like them? A very good discussion about that. I don't mean like in terms of prefer their company, in terms of that, they love chess and you like to talk about chess with them, or that you have very, same interests, or that your personalities are compatible. I'm not talking about that kind of like, okay? So with that little caveat, I'm going to give you a spoiler. I think people have figured it out that have talked to me about this. I say no, you cannot love someone and not like them. Okay, let's have a different way of saying this. How about, can you love someone and dislike them? Can you love someone and be repulsed by them? Can you love someone and not think about them, or even try not to think about them? Can you love someone and be irritated by them? Can you love someone and forget to pray for them? I say no. Now, are we perfect creatures? No. But are we trying to be perfect? Yes. I'm trying to teach Axeman to be perfect. I want him to be perfect even though I'm not perfect. But we are called to be perfect. And love means to see the image of God in someone. If you see the beauty of a man, or a woman, or a child, any human being, one human being is worth more than the entire universe, than everything else, the angels included, because a human being is made in the image of God to obtain their likeness. What's not to like? Now again, we have to separate personality things from our actual passions. You might prefer to have someone's company because the conversations with them are interesting, you really love their kindness or something. Okay, fine. But if we have a visceral dislike for someone, or they irritate us often, that is absolutely, positively a sign that we have our own passions. And we don't have a right to have those feelings. Now, I understand we do, and we have to work through them, but we don't have a right to them. Now, what about somebody who's toxic? If they're toxic, you know what you should do? Stay away from them as best you can. But that doesn't mean you don't have to like them. They're made in the image of God. I know people have toxic family members, etc. And you can't be around toxic family members because they just mess you up. Either they mess you up psychologically and spiritually, or perhaps there's always drama around them and it always gets nasty, etc. So, okay, fine. So don't be around those family members as best you can. But if you have a visceral dislike for the drama that they do, for the things that they pull, for the fact that they lie all the time, okay, that's not loving them. Knowing they lie all the time is just a fact that you know. Knowing that because they lie all the time, you're not going to lend them $100 because you know you're not getting it back, or they're going to use it for alcohol and cigarettes, okay, or drugs. That's just a fact that you apply to how you live your life. That's not about whether you like them or not. But if we have a visceral dislike for someone, if we're irritated by them, we don't love them. Let's admit it. Now, of course, there are tools, if you want to call them that, to trying to get to love somebody. Of course, you must pray for them. You must make sure that you don't gossip about them. You must definitely think about them. I don't mean think about them like meditate all the terrible things they've done. I mean that you pray for them every day. That's very critically important. Any significant people in your life, you must pray for every day. Someone in one of the comments said that they didn't think that it was optional for St. Paisios to love someone or to like someone. And I absolutely agree. The perfect like everybody. I find because everyone is made in the image of God to obtain his likeness. Now, I understand there have been people that have been very much hurt by family members, by other people who've done terrible things. And no, you shouldn't be around them. And no, you shouldn't send Christmas cards to a person who's harmed you and done terrible things to you. Just a minute, buddy. We're almost done. We are almost done. We're almost done. But we should Understand that when we have a problem with them, that's not love. No, for what it's worth. I think it's absolutely critical that we give ourselves no quarter about this. If someone's toxic to you and really messes you up, then try to stay away from them as best you can, of course. But if you have bad thoughts about them, if you have judgmental thoughts about them, if you join in the gossip with them, if when you hear about them coming to town, there's this darkness in your heart, don't say you love them, but don't like them. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because it's not true. Instead, be honest with yourself and say, you know, I love them very poorly. I love them very poorly. And I need to love them better. And I think X-Man, for some reason, thinks that we're done. He thinks I'm talking too long. So, we will sign off. X-Man, say goodbye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're not going to say bye-bye? You're just going to sit here and look cute. God bless you.